Yes. Geektastic Cypher.
Yep.
What's up?
Can't see Brian. What's up? I'm in
You
the
can't
dark.
see, you said?
No, I literally can't see you.
Oh, I'm here, everyone. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I'm not in the...
Yeah, bro.
That's so bizarre. Because I can see myself on the screen.
So okay, yeah, no, this entire time we were talking, I couldn't see it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ah, man, I
That's why
wish
I
you
was
had said
like,
something because I
I'm like, this is weird. Is he just trying something new? I don't know.
No, yeah, I can see myself on the screen, but you guys can't see me. Okay, I guess I'm turning my camera off. Well, I don't know what else to do. I'd have to like stop and troubleshoot, but
yeah, no, we don't want to do all that kind of craziness.
now
We're just gonna look at my pretty mug, and that's all.
It's so weird that it's doing that because it was working fine before.
Computers do that stuff.
Technology is an evil.
That's like the first thing I hear. That's like the number one troubleshoot like tip that people give me to let me know how to fix their thing at work. Where they're like, "It worked perfectly fine yesterday," and I'm just like, yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, what am I gonna do with that?
It's
Big
like
facts, yesterday. Yeah.
All that glorious technology. Yesterday.
Man, that yesterday. Wow, boy.
It's just weird because again, I can see myself on the screen. I see myself next to you. Okay, I see myself in the live stream now.
Yeah,
but I didn't change anything. I literally just turned my camera off and on again, which, as we know,
is number two.
Is the
turn it off and turn it back on.
Turn it off and turn it back on. IT crowd, baby. Bro. So if you guys are just tuning in, I have been a ghost, but I was a voice that you could hear in your soul and in your spirit.
I actually had someone refuse to give me whatever tidbit. Like they had a problem and that they did something that was most likely fuckery on their part. That managed to fix the situation, a situation I spent all morning on, and then refused to tell me what they did.
What?
Yeah.
So that they could pretend like, oh, you.
Like, I don't know, man. But all I know is like, I was so strategic in the way that like I was asking, like, I'm like, oh wow, how'd you do that? And they're like, oh, I just applied the script that I found here, and I was like, cool. Where'd you find the script? She's like, oh, it's in this folder. I'm like, no, but like, what did you do? And, and it literally breaks it down to that point, and then like they just kind of like side quest or like don't answer me. So then I take it to my lead, and the words I posted to him, and I just take it to him. And I'm just like, yo, is she fucking with me? and his response is like, yeah, I've seen that before. Sometimes people just don't want to give you like, the answer as a kind of like, because I did your job for you. I'm almost like, yeah, but I didn't, you messed it up. What? All right, cool. Teach the old IT guy a lesson. Like, sure.
Fine. I don't understand. That's one thing I got to say about my job. The IT people at my job are aces. I've never worked in a place where and even throughout the years that I've worked where I work now, the IT guys in the past have been great, but this version of the IT team during the pandemic and everything, like I remember at one point I needed iTunes on my computer for something work related. iTunes stopped working completely. Uninstalled, reinstalled, clear cache, did all those things. Couldn't get it. They had to install something called PC Cleaner or something. Mm-hmm. They had to go in.
Your whole thing is dirty.
But that's it. It wasn't even my computer. But they removed any reference to iTunes, any of the folders.
It was all probably the .init or .some folder that had something to do with it.
Yeah.
And then it caused something that, and that goes with finding things in the back. But then so then you do things, okay, because then
it almost felt like they were stripping the car down to the like studs.
Yeah, you gotta go bare.
Yeah,
just build it back up to find out. Because things like that could easily happen, right? So then you'll just kind of be in situations where you don't exactly know, and not only that, not to the person's to their fault or anything, but most people just don't know how to describe their problem.
Yeah, no. Oh, you're right. It definitely was. I didn't know. Like I was just like the iTunes doesn't work. Like that's all I said.
Bro, let me tell you how much I'd rather you not put in a ticket than just put in iTunes isn't working. Please help. It's like, my G, screenshot
Yeah.
What was error message?
Yeah.
What did you do?
Yeah.
What got you
What
there?
operating system are you
All
on?
that.
I know.
All that. Like,
But you know what? I would say I wish there was a template I had to fill out that asked me those questions, because a lot of the times I don't know how much information you need, and I'm the type of nerd that if you tell me give me all, I'll just do that every time. And I've had situations now where people have been like, "Yeah, I don't need to know all that." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I don't know when you do and
that's
when
what
you
you
don't."
get. But then also you'll get like, you give people a template and they will do everything in their power to find ways to skip around that shit. I give people every week a clear reminder of, my G, don't change your password before you get to certain point B.
Yeah.
9 out of 10 times people change
Every time.
so it's like, really, like, okay, cool. We just let it go.
I'm a last second guy when it comes to that shit.
Yeah, we hate you. We don't like.
Wait,
you.
last second? No, but like
last
we
second
can
people. No, because y'all people come to us Monday morning, be like, "Oh, I forgot to
Yes.
get my password."
Oh no,
I
don't do that. No, I don't do that. I don't do that.
You didn't get the 97 emails. Oh, I don't really check my email.
Every time.
I don't really check those.
Okay. I was definitely the guy that whenever I would get the thing being like, your password is going to expire in 12 days. Your password is going to expire.
I'll wait till day 2.
Yeah, I would wait. And sometimes, unfortunately, you are accurate. I would see it on the Friday, say your password's going to expire in 2 days. And I'd be like, cool. And then I come in on Monday and I'm like, oh, wait, 2 days was Sunday. Damn. And then the guys in the IT, I have to essentially go see them or get someone else on the team to message them because I can't get into the computer to send them a ticket. Yeah,
exactly. But then at that point, all of a sudden, it's the biggest thing in the world. So then Monday morning, when we're clearly busy with Monday morning type things, you got to rush out and get these, like, it's not even like it's like requests with no brought-upsy. So it's kind of like, my G, I know you're not asking your mama anything like this. Why are you writing? Like, how are you so fresh with me? Or even our department, like, hello, IT, can someone please take a look into this? Look into what? My machine's not working. 70 paragraph. No machine name. What are we doing?
What?
What are we doing? Anyways, that's me. And I'm happy to be here. It's Wednesday. How's everyone doing? It's
I've been good. I've had a crazy. My partner's back. My partner was gone for 3 weeks.
Globetrotting the world and stuff. Unless she ever coming back? I'm like, damn.
I know, eh?
Fireworks and things. I was
pretty jealous of some of the shots. I was just like, how are you just standing on like the top of like a mountain on a terrace overlooking a like ocean view with fireworks in the background? And
how's that your room?
Yeah, and I'm sitting in the living room eating
building Lego while watching Lego while watching certain themed movies on a Sunday.
Yeah, eating Miss Lay's chips
while it's hailing outside.
I'm watching Time Flicks movie. I'm watching time themed movies.
Hey man,
DeLorean.
If I'm gonna build a DeLorean, I'm watching time travel movies.
Yes, but the comparison is super great for me.
yeah, exactly.
Comparison's super great.
The comparison of what she was living the day I was building the DeLorean. If you look at her story and my story on Instagram, it's just like, wow, we can see who the loser is here.
Such a contrast.
Meanwhile, I'm just like, I'm living my best life.
You damn well weren't. You know you were living the best life.
I was not living my best life. I was just.
You loved every second making those Legos.
I loved every second of building the Lego, but I mean, building Lego and watching
I love it.
Building Lego.
You just wish that you were in that tropical environment while watching Tenet while making a Lego. It's just the actual location that's the.
It was legit, like as if Danny was like, I don't know, like let's say like Athens, Greece, or like Vegas, and I'm here. It's like, yep, having a good time, taking a picture of photos of toys, and no, man, if my girl's in Italy and she's like doing her thing, I'm just not on the internet for a week. Like,
I tried to make.
I might just reshare her stories just to be like, yeah, I'm here too.
You're like, yo, just tag me in these so that I can look like I'm chilling with you too.
Yo,
but you're not there. It's all good. At this point, and that you just stumbled into a very interesting conversation that unfortunately I won't have time to delve into too much. Damn. But we need to talk about when people on IG go on vacation for like 2 weeks in, let's say, January, but
And we
I'm
still
still
got
seeing
content in
those
March?
Pictures in March, April, May, June,
Yeah.
July.
Those people in denial that they're back home type shit.
It's like, oh, me in a bathroom in Paris, and it's just like, girl, I saw you yesterday walking down the street with your grocery bag. Let's not pretend like you're still in Paris. Why? And then the weirdest part is splicing in pictures of your Paris trip with the pictures of you in Montreal at venues in Montreal, pretend like not tagging Montreal, so it's as if you're still in Paris. And I'm like, what are you doing? Why are we playing this game of pretend?
That's a crazy ass game of pretend. That's a lot of effort.
Turks
like,
and
for you to-
Caicos. No.
no,
I
you
saw
were
you
not
on the
there.
bus. Why are we pretending we're in Turks and
I
Caicos?
saw you on the bus.
What are you
on the
doing?
bus. Oh man,
Weird, man.
That was great.
People are nuts, man.
This fake like I'm globetrotting thing is bizarre. It is bizarre.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
realize how washed I am when I'm just like, damn, I got nothing to post on IG. And it's not like I don't care, but it's like I go through the photos that I do have of myself. I'm just like,
Right.
baby. I don't want to post that. Don't like nothing. But it also shows you what going out can do for your socials. Like
Yeah.
when you were going out, when we had things to do or to go out, or even just like, oh, we're doing a show in person together, you'd have some reason to maybe post something. Now it's kind of like that just looks like a reach. If I was to like say go outside, do this, and then post it, you're like, why?
Yeah.
You know what
I mean, I do
know.
it sometimes myself where for me, it's mostly that I like posting memes now where
Yeah.
I never posted memes before. I was not a meme person. And now
how quickly your account could turn into a meme account.
Yeah, because like you're at home, you're laughing at something, you're feeling kind of bored, and you're just like, yo, everyone should see this. And you start to think, man, the internet's funny. And then everyone else has already seen it or they've already been posting it. Like it's been seen before, and you feel like you're something new. It's like, no.
Yeah.
So
yeah, story today, like honestly, really like today's stories is like my thing. So I really just focused heavily on just posting that, I guess, or
Yeah.
anything that'd be interesting to that. But like, I don't know, like you're seeing it's like a pendulum shift where you're kind of like, hey, there's just really nothing in my everyday that is that interesting that I need to post it. And then when you see people that are less like, hey, clothing from this one, you're like, you didn't need to do that.
yeah.
But I understand.
and yeah, same. Like, and sometimes I wonder, would it be better if I started to really fake it?
Oh,
and like
go
because
full tilt.
Yeah, because you see those people online who are like really faking it. Like they're showing up in spots to take the picture and then heading home. Like they really start grinding the whole algorithm. Me being in the hot spots, taking pictures at
Just
this place, that
give
place,
me
that place.
so like okay, when we went to the Fido the Mural Fest
Yeah,
and we got that hookup. So like
Yeah.
just give me one of those. Give me a solid Montreal summer of 2 weeks where I'll just go downtown, appear, whoop, and then and I might do it. I might
yeah.
pull that off this summer where I'll be like, okay, let's take Lonnie places, bop, 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 and then that's it,
Yeah.
in and out. Boom. That's what I'm gonna do.
What are the things you're looking forward to this summer? I got Just for Laughs passport and I got 3 tickets for 3 shows.
Which 3?
Mulaney, Hassan Minaj, and
Oh, nice.
Gatsbury.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I got Ethnic Show and the Nasty Show. I'm going to.
Nasty shows are usually
Justin.
good. I didn't pick anything for Just for Last just because, I'm chilling still for a little bit. Jazz Fest, I want to check out the Roots for Jazz Fest.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
right.
going to close it out, right?
Yeah, they're
Free
closing
show
it out.
too?
Oh, free show?
From what I
Shit.
understand, it's a
No
free show.
way.
That's why I'm
might be a
excited
vid
and
fest.
nervous. Yeah,
I'm excited and nervous.
People I know that have gone out have come back with the vid, and I'm just like, yeah.
Hey man. So I did the test. I did a rapid test for the first time ever because I've never had any symptoms the whole 2 years, and I finally did the test. That shit sucks.
Yeah,
I knew people were saying it sucks.
It's annoying as fuck.
Oh,
It's
like when you
blows.
stick the thing
Yep.
through your nose and you're touching the back of your throat and it burns as you're pulling it. And my partner was just like, don't do it slow. It's worse. I was just like,
oh, you do it no, I don't do that.
Oh,
I did it
no, I don't do
myself.
it myself.
No,
Oh, you're
no,
brave,
no.
man.
But when you do a
I
rapid
was
test-
nervous I'd go into my brain or something.
I clearly, just from that experience, I know I could never be tortured, and I give it up in a second because I was just like a bitch. Oh my god! I was like, she didn't even touch my nostril, and I was just like, ah!
No, dude, I was like sitting there watching cartoons one morning about to make breakfast, and I'm like, okay, we got to do this. And I just tilt my head back and I'm like sticking it in. And then at first I was just like, wait, how far do I have to stick it in? And I just kept going until it hit something. And I was just like, and it's like burning. I'm like, all right, that's far enough. And I like did the whole thing. And then you pull it out. And I was just like,
I didn't even want to scream. It just happened.
Yeah.
It just happened. I was like,
wild.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you guys talk about Atlanta and other things. I'll be back shortly.
I'm saving Atlanta for you, sir. We go talk about other things. We go.
I'll geek out. I'll be back soon.
All right, white boy, what you got for me?
What?
Yeah, that's right.
What
that's what we're
going. Attacks? That's right. How we do it. That's how we do it. We finally get free reign on this show, and it's just attacks. Slap in the faces left.
What you got for me? What you got for me? This no, man. I'm kidding. How you been?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Actually, you know what? I'll do a shot. The only thing I really watched this week though is I finally got to see Uncharted. And I'm gonna say this
to me about it in detail.
Tom Holland has to find a way to grow up. Like his facial structure is that like the whole movie. I'm there. I'm like, you look like you're 16. The whole movie. I'm looking past. He's such a good actor, but like. They got to put like some type of makeup on this guy's face. No, this adult's face because he looks so like you're seeing him do shit and you're like, I don't think you're allowed to drink that drink.
Oh man, come on. Like, he's 25.
He is 25 and he's a great actor. But like they have done some like rough something that clear face is not doing him justice for these like supposed to be action, not Spider-Man movies. That was the only complaint really about the movie, though. Other than that,
the only complaint is that he looks like a little kid.
Well, I mean, like for an action movie, like let's make it clear, like action movie, like the bar is always like like.
When was the last time you saw an action movie that didn't star The Rock?
Like, horror movies got a bar.
Where's the bar? Where is it?
Well. Dude, the bar is, let me put it this way. You have any action movie, you basically have to compare it to any 80s or 90s action movie. Because that's the only time 80s and 90s, in the 80s and 90s is the only time movies that were action movies actually meant something. Example, Face Off. Example, The Rock. Example, well, technically The Matrix would fall into it, but that's obviously a reach. Die Hards. You know what I mean? That's when you got your Rambos. That's when you have... no, but I'm just saying, like, like that's when the Schwarzenegger movie, True Lies, you know what I mean?
Okay.
True Lies was a great action movie. It was a great movie, but it was an action movie, you know what I mean? So if you're going to compare it to that, plus it'd be like, example, if you're going to compare it to video game movies, this movie is setting a bar because this movie was very entertaining and was, I would say, very truthful from what I know of Uncharted. I didn't really play those games that much, but like I saw people play the games. I understand the point. So I don't know if necessarily he's fighting the right bad guy or he's doing the right sequence of events. But like I'm like this seems it's better than Mario, John Leguizamo's Mario Bros. You know what I mean?
Well, considering he wasn't the star of that, but I do understand what you mean. Yeah, it's like it's very, how do you say? It's an unfortunate situation for him to be in. Unfortunate. That's funny because Uncharted unfortunate. But he's just he's gonna look like that for at least till he's 30. Because
that's it. And like it's cool. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't think he should like take lesser roles or anything like that. Because again, he acted very, very well. But sometimes I was there, I'm like, like it's just like you're supposed to be a certain character, and because that's where I think it took me off. Because I know what the character looks like, right? And the character is, even in comparison, is older.
Character is based on Nathan. Well, it looks like Nathan Fillion, but it's
to a certain degree. Yeah, I get what people do with that. But again, like I'm not trying to cause slack to it. But to be quite honest, like other than that, like example, it was a super fun movie. I wasn't at any point in time being like, oh my god, is this almost over? Like not with time or with like the pace of things. The action was pretty good. Actually, a lot of people have a tendency to fuck up the puzzle solving in movies. Like, like Tomb Raider and shit, you're there, you're like, yeah, it's obviously that. You know what I mean? Like, I won't lie, the newer Tomb Raider that came out a little while, I was like, not the Angelina Jolie's, the other one was like pretty impressive. With this one, I was like, the tricks and twists or whatever, I'm like, you may have seen it coming as it was happening.
Yeah.
But it was like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like you had those moments where like it's like when you see those movies when someone's trying to figure something out and then the person finally walks in and they see that there's these pylons and there's also markings on the pylons and they have to like move the camera to get to, like they did a lot of those things were really like I enjoyed it. I thought it was really pretty well. So like I don't know, like it's 7.5 for like regular movies. For an action movie, like a good solid 8.5.
8.5. Okay.
Oh. The only thing that was also, another thing that was a little offsetting was the end credit scene. Although I knew what they were trying to do, really set confusion because even I turned to people who I saw the movie with. I'm like, is that supposed to be his brother? And people were like, it really looked like it. And you're like, that doesn't make sense in context. Like what happened in front of me does not make sense in context of what I just saw.
He has a brother now? All right.
Well, that's like the thing. Like you know, if you want to like talk about it too much, because that would be a bit more spoiler alert related. But like,
I don't.
Things you're like,
you can spoil it.
Well, because the character in this movie, it's like he's depicted as like, you know, their parents ditched them when they were kids, him and his brother, and then his brother was being like a thief early on in life, and then, you know, thieved his way and like had to leave their, you know, safe foster home or dwelling or whatever. He's grown up now, a cocky little shit, also a thief, but like, you know, realizes like, you know, there is a certain degree of society because he's just stealing little things to make extra money. And like, you know, he's like, where's my brother? And blah, 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 blah. And the part of the journey is like, what happened to my brother? Which, you know, is he dead? Is he not dead? What? No.
Right. But nobody knows.
And then the after credit scene, he's having an argument. It looks like it would be the older brother.
Okay.
So I'm like, with an eye patch. So I'm there. I'm like, I'm certain we're mistaken, but it really looked a lot like him. But then again, like, you know, you're waiting there after all the credits and then you see the characters. So you're like, the last time I saw this guy's face was an hour ago. Am I mistaken? You know, and like, I'll even say it was like a regular white boy type, you know, pretty boy type person, you know, like one of those like One Tree Hill type faces.
A little bit of child Michael Murray there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like it's one of those faces that like when you see, you're like, well, you all kind of look the same Hollywood wise to a certain degree because none of you are like actual big name. It's not like it's another Tom Holland
or somebody else. It's like some random. It could be his actual brother.
Yeah, exactly. Like exactly.
Jesus. Goddamn. Well, okay. Uncharted.
But how be things in the toy world? Did you get anything good lately? I've missed a few eps.
Oh, you're just gonna segue from Uncharted into the toy world? Like this is
I want to know what's up. We're talking about video games. We're talking about the movies, video games. We're gonna start talking about toys. Shit.
Darth, we were talking about Uncharted. Now he's trying to segue me into toy talk. And I mean, for those who do know, I do toy talk after this for about 2 hours. So are you gonna get a brief spill? They leaked some. I actually can't do this. This is bad because they're watching me, and now I'm gonna get in trouble for talking about this. See, this is not good. This is not good that you segued into this. They leaked somehow photos of the Thor wave from Marvel Legends got leaked. Can't be talking about it. I have peoples that watch me.
So well, I'm not more like what you got, like went in a box, but you took it.
I can't be doing that either. Because
you could tell me if you say what was your favorite thing in the box that you got this week that you already posted.
I can't do that. I can't do that because then that's taken away from this, and then people got to go to the IG and check what I got. It's just it's not.
They go after. That's called publicity, my friend.
No, I don't need it. I don't need it.
I don't need it. This is the soapbox. This is the only soapbox I got. We got to do things that way. We got to shout it out loud. We put it in the ether. That's how we got shit done in the Marvel universe, in DC universe. That's how things come to be. We put it out there.
I'm on already. I'm good. I'm all right. I don't need that. I'm okay. But I will talk about a certain leak of a certain character that we haven't seen. We got some pictures of Gore, the God Butcher.
Oh, shit.
Don't know if it's actually accurate. Yeah, I know. Yo, I feel you, and I'm expecting to hear more from you later. It doesn't catch my attention. None of the MCU waves has caught anyone's attention this year. They've been okay. They've been kind of lackluster. The Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness wave was whatever. This one, I'm more or less interested in what the God Butcher Gore looks like. I'm
curious what's going to come out after Spider-Verse 2 comes out. Because I'm hoping Spider-Verse 2 is going to have some extra stuff that's going to make certain re-releases or new versions of certain characters come back out. Because I really want to, I'm hoping for a Scarlet Spider, the proper Scarlet Spider.
You doobies, man, trying to get shit that's been out. Just pay the $80 for the damn thing, man.
Oh, we don't. It's $80.
Because we don't want another Scarlet Spider. I have 3 Scarlet Spiders, like literally 3. One out there, one in the back, and like a Spider-Man Ben Reilly. Like we don't need more Scarlet.
Well,
Spiders.
I meant Ben Reilly basis, but I want the one with like the official like hoodie.
Yeah,
version.
that bit.
Yeah.
Nope, we're not getting that.
That's
again.
been that.
don't
We
want
haven't
that
had one
again.
of those in years.
How do you know? We just had one actually about 4 years ago. That's years.
That's years. How
Yeah,
is that not years?
that's not how the
That's
production-
1, 2,
that's not how
3,
the
4.
production
That's
works.
4 years. That's
Yeah,
years.
So we're supposed to put out things every 4 years, just for folks
No.
who didn't catch up.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I'm hoping because of
You're not-
Spider-Verse coming out that they might.
They got so many other Spider-Verse characters to put out that they will definitely not be putting out Scarlet Spider. I guarantee. Guarantee. So many.
I want
Sorry.
a Scarlet
Sorry to
Spider
burst
that's
your bubble.
not. It's expensive on that. No.
Find yourself an eBay account and you will definitely find a Scarlet Spider for less than what you think.
Oh,
it is. How much? How bad is it?
This comment we will have. It's bad.
It's not that bad. I'll look right now. It's not that terrible.
The one
But
I saw
before
was
we go into all that,
easy.
once we
plus.
tell me about the one you saw. Let me look forward.
It was at least plus 150.
Scarlet.
That was in
Spider?
box though.
Scarlet Legends. Look, if I find one for under $80 in one search, boy,
Like a good one though. One because there's only 2 good ones. There's the legend one and there's the one that looks like the ones you have on the wall back there.
the retro ones, those are also legends. Okay, so literally, Marvel Legends Scarlet Spider, Ride a Wave, build a figure, loose, $80. Done. That was the first
Wow.
listing.
Lies.
First listing.
Wait. Are you on ebay.com or .ca
CA dog.
for having this conversation off? I don't believe. Send me this link.
Not
Send
sending
me
you
this.
no link. It's right there. You literally put in Scarlet Spider Marvel Legends right there. Anyways, what else did you watch? I'm gonna get into Atlanta, but I have to do the deep analysis with Brian, so I can't do it now. But I will talk about. I mean, we're not gonna jump right into Moon Knight. Could.
No. I'm down. I went through the process of moon knighting right before here. That's why I was a minute late. It's because I knew something was going to happen right at the end, and I couldn't skip the last 5 minutes.
Nothing
So
happened.
I am prepared. I am prepared.
So okay, we can start with a little bit of Moon Knight.
So then, what's your impressions this week? Because you were bitter last week, so I'm curious what
This
your
should have been the
impressions-
second episode.
You couldn't just jump from that episode to this episode.
Well, they could have just taken everything that they didn't need in the second episode, cut it down, and made this one longer because the second episode was shit. I didn't need it.
I do admit the thing I like the most about this episode though was that we got to see
I like him
Mark's
actual
perspective.
fighting people and not freaking boogeymen and invisible monsters.
Okay, that's your I understand. I appreciated that artistic view, but
It wasn't artistic. It was cheap. It was literally very cheap. Like, hey, let's just we don't have the budget for this episode because we done went to Egypt. Let's just I don't know. He's invisible to the untrained eye. Yes, only Moon Knight can see the jackal. Yes. That's how we'll save money. You know that was a showrunner idea. Like, come on, man. Like nobody was openly like,
Yeah,
hey.
but let's put it this way. You know they're gonna make it up to you later. It's just like WandaVision. You didn't have much at the beginning, and then by the end it was like a hoopla. So you'll get
No, but WandaVision at least
WandaVision
at least gave us the TV tropes and from the different shows leading to the different eras that you kind of recognize. And it was like, oh, cool, like 50s, 60s, 80s, 90s, blah 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 blah. Oh baby, and then then you got like whatever the hell that second episode was. Which come on.
I'm not saying it's the strongest episode, but I'm just saying I think you're taking a little bit more to heart than you should. That's my thought.
No.
But in regards to this episode, I think it was like I was saying before, I think it was cool to see the perspective of Mark for a bit. His feeling or the things he's going through.
Yeah.
And then but the only thing is there's some cutaways that I was like, what the fuck? And then when they're implying that there's a third
Yeah.
person, I was like, well, then who the fuck is that?
The cab driver. Jacob.
The driver wasn't a murderer, was he?
Bro, Steven Grant was a rich nigga. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so like they're you're getting the personalities, except for the only one that's going to be true to with the comics is going to be Mark Spector. Apparently, Steven Grant may be rich later, or it could be the other guy could be the playboy that was also an American Psycho. Who knows?
Well, I definitely think I don't want to like jinx myself, but I have a feeling that I was right about Steven long term, because even when you saw him in this episode, there was a lot of more confidence, and there was a lot more like even when he was it's Mr. Moon, right?
Mr. Knight.
Mr. Knight.
They called him Mr. Moon. That's great.
I thought that's what it was. I knew it was one of the.
Nope,
I had a 50-50
chance.
called
Mr. Moon. Nope, that's it.
Perfect. That's
Mr.
cool.
Moon. This guy.
I finally got one.
You haven't got one yet?
In a long time, in a minute.
Y'all,
I've been throwing Hail Marys, and y'all just like last minute, like here's
we're gonna pick this one. I mean,
like, but like when he was Mr. Knight in this episode, it was like it wasn't so juvenile, I guess, compared to the other one, you know. So you're already seeing that he's evolving a little bit. I'm hoping that I'm right, that like maybe not by the end of the season, but maybe by the end of like, let's say next season, if they decide to make 2 seasons of this, or by the movie, if they decide to make a movie of this, that Steven becomes very like more independent, more, you know, I could handle shit, because at some point in time, it's also Steven constantly waking up to like, fuck, there's a bunch of people fighting me. Like even when he took over the body in this episode, like after a minute or two, he's like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. But he can't always rely on Mark to do the heavy lifting.
That's how the split personalities work. You actually can. I mean, you probably easily could do that. I don't see them making a season 2 of this. I see this just being their 6-hour movie to lead into Midnight Suns. And
Midnight Suns being,
you're the comic guy and you don't know who the Midnight Suns are? Well, hot damn.
I know a lot of comic books. I'm allowed to follow from time to time.
Damn, son, the Midnight Suns.
Well, are you wanting?
It's a more or less of a Okay, take Justice League Dark and make it better, and that's what you have Midnight Suns. So Midnight Suns consist of Blade, Ghost Rider, Danny Ketch, or the other dude, but most likely Danny Ketch, Johnny Blaze, Brother Voodoo, sometimes Man Thing, sometimes Moon Knight, but usually Moon Knight, oftentimes Morbius, and sometimes Punisher. And they're just a bunch of ragtag dudes that gets together and battle mystic shit.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I know why I don't know much about it. It's because in general, I'm not the biggest magician guy. And out of all the people you named, I really only like Mr. Voodoo. Ghost Rider, I find like
Strange, Ghost Rider, Man Thing, Blade, Morbius. Yeah, you don't really have to like Morbius, Moon Knight, and Punisher. Yeah, that's not bad. It's a great lineup.
It's a great lineup, but if you're
Black Knight's in there too. Black Knight's in there too, which is why the whole thing with Dane Whitman and Blade talking to him is like, yeah, this is all leading into Midnight Suns.
But you have, but you only have 2 of all the people you really named though.
Strange.
Yeah.
Ghost Rider does exist in the Marvel Universe.
If they decide to pull him from the Avengers thing, sure, but like, why not make a brand new one? Sure.
But they could, because listen, if I can't remember his name and it's gonna
Robbie Reyes.
With Robbie Reyes as Ghost Rider, that means, and they showed Johnny Blaze. They showed Johnny Blaze roll up on it. So it means if Reyes has it, Johnny Blaze is probably still not really running around, but he's still Johnny Blaze like he was in the 90s doing. I don't know what the fuck he was doing. Brother Voodoo does exist for sure. I know he's in there somewhere. Morbius, of course, if they wanted to do something right with it, whatever they did with that movie, and I don't want to get into that. The Man Thing could exist. Who else is there? And then already Blade and Black Knight is already around, and you already have Doctor Strange.
That's fair.
So Midnight Suns is probably, I feel like that's a probability of where they're gonna go with this. But if they do a season 2, I'd be happy with it too, because I'm kind of like, I'm digging. Hey DC, you can put Batman on TV.
How dare they?
I just wanted to take that shot. I just wanted to take that shot because this is legit. You know what I mean? But like with the whole cape,
dare you tell them a factual, easy, simple thing that they could do that they're choosing not to because they're idiots? How dare you?
Just anyways. Also, and a real quick about this episode because there's a lot that we could get into. But like, shout outs to the man who passed on the show because they were going to do some shit with him, boy.
Yeah.
Woo! You even saw. I was just like, oh, they're gonna do
that. Was really unfortunate that
Man's rolled up and just stabbed him. I was just like, oh, you're gonna be something crazy. And
I love the fact.
Screen.
I love the fact that his armor is bulletproof, but not knife or weapon proof.
Spear proof? Yeah, it's like
spear proof.
Yeah. But you know what? I actually respect that because if you saw Dune had that thing where you have that shielding, and if you go slow enough, you can pierce
it through it. True.
But if you attack fast or with weapons, it doesn't go through. And I kind of like that Moon Knight had something similar. I like the idea that those types of armors force people to do close combat hand to hand. It takes away like, oh, why didn't you just shoot him? Because after Indiana Jones did the thing in whatever movie where he just shoots homeboy when he's doing all the martial arts, you kind of got the sense of like, okay, well, now this is where it's at. Like anyone could just shoot anyone. We have guns. After the once guns came into play, why are you fighting someone close to hand combat?
Right.
Just have a gun, But then these shows are giving us like, you can't just have a gun because Moon Knight can't get shot. You can't just have a gun because Dune, they have special armor. Like, and I like that. I like that we got, like you guys mentioned, the Jake Lockley type vibe where a third is doing stuff and they're all like confused because Mark's like, Steven, I like that Mark was just like, Steven, what did you do? It's like, homie, you think Steven did this?
He's like, really? I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, what the hell are you talking about? What did you do?
Shout outs to the Mr. Knight, though, because I agree with you, Dave. He was very much more confident in this one.
I feel like Mr. Knight is okay.
But I agree with Skinny, by the way. Episode 2, very weak. Episode 3, much stronger. And this episode, again, I do agree with Skinny when he said you could have edited the episode so that the vibe of this one was the vibe of 2 and kept the energy going. As
I'm telling you, budget. They spent the whole series in Egypt, and they're like, "Damn, we gotta just film some shit in London." Fuck. How are we gonna? We only got like one or two. We only got one episode out of this London footage. How are we gonna stretch this to 2?
Have him fighting something invisible. Just keep going.
Yeah, that's it. He'll fight a jackal. It's a jackal.
That is beautiful. No, Skinny's not wrong.
I know.
I like the idea. I like the idea that these people were working and they were just like, we need a whole like third act in this second episode, and we don't have enough footage. Mark, go put on the white suit and start waving your fist around.
Say wagwan.
Yeah, and throw in some patois, and then the boy them wagwan. Those kids like the Top Boy show. Just do the stuff there.
No, but not even a joke. I finished the last season of Top Boy, started watching this, and saw Lauren from Top Boy. So I was like, continuity.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah. That's all I needed. I was like, all right, thank you, Disney. Make everything make sense. Connected.
Love it.
Yep. Perfect.
Yeah.
I feel like Mr. Moon Knight is for us.
Yeah.
Mr. Knight's fan service.
Yeah.
Because if you Google Moon Knight, you're gonna see the first 2-3 images is probably gonna be him in a damn suit.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh yeah, Mr. Knight. Like Mr. Knight wasn't that cool. He was a detective Batman.
Yeah.
In a suit.
And like I said last week, I was disappointed with the version we saw, but this week, I was just like, okay. I kind of like. I mean,
I like how he popped in and got jokes in his stomach. He's like, "Nah, I ain't with this."
Yeah. Nah. Like, actually, he was more confident, but also way stupider. It's like, wait, you're asking for the body in the middle of a fight with multiple guns being drawn on you and weapons coming
at this point. They already figured the spear thing. They're like, "Yeah, let's just pin him down."
Like, what are you doing? Why is this when you want to come out, you idiot? Like,
dumb person. So
I really look forward to seeing Jake. I'm interested in what that persona is going to be like because Mark is very, very militant and angry and then Steven is a fucking dotish child. Like
super dotish.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you need to not stop. When Mark woke up in the taxi and it's like, wait, so Steven took over on a rooftop, told those 2 guys, hey guys, you know what? You're good to go. I'm gonna get out of here. And then he went and took a taxi and then said, get me to the airport. What
Yeah.
are you?
Yeah, he's like, what do you do? Yo, but I couldn't live like that, man.
No,
I couldn't live like that. Like, get up in the morning, you're like, oh man, I'm gonna smoke this, and it's like 10 a.m. You're at work. Yo, I'd be like, what the fuck? I'd be so mad. Or like, you legit do that. You're like, look at this blunt. You wake up, you're in a meeting, and you're like, and it's like, but not like a point in the meeting where you can coast through. It's like the point where you're called upon and you literally don't know what's going on. They're like, so Mr. Roberts, your thought. You're all like,
deer in a headlight. Big facts.
That'd be
Oh my god.
so terrible.
I gotta say though, Oscar Isaac is doing a solid job.
Killing it. So
He's
yeah.
like the graphics. How do you guys feel about the graphics? When he was running across those rooftops, I was a little like,
when the second episode?
no, third episode at the top when he's trying to find the dude who knows where Harrow is.
Okay.
digging.
So I didn't even. Yeah, I didn't really notice.
Okay,
Oh, I noticed hard. I
right?
noticed
It
that
looked a little
hard.
weird, right?
Like it wasn't. It's not that. You know what it was? It was that.
I'm not trying to nitpick. I'm just asking if I'm the only one who noticed. That's all. I'm not trying to.
Yeah, no, very, very much.
'Cause
Like,
I know I
you could
do
tell
nitpick.
it wasn't like you saw the borderline around him or anything like, but like you could tell that something was off. You could tell that wasn't live. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We got a question from Mike Ken. I'm not sure. Is Oscar Isaac going to be the next Tatiana Maslany? So Tatiana Maslany is the girl that's playing She-Hulk. I'm not sure what the relationship would be with.
Yeah,
Oscar.
tell me what that relationship is, bro.
I mean, the only thing I know about Tatiana as is it that she plays the clone in her other show?
yeah.
And are you asking like someone who can handle multiple different characters and that range of acting? Because if that's the case, I kind of understand what you mean. I get that. I mean, that's pretty much what we're getting. Oscar Isaac is doing a solid job with that. What is that condition called? Dissociated personality something?
Yeah, DID.
DID?
Yeah.
I'd have problems with that, man.
Hey,
Going
some
on
people
a
don't even
date,
think. Some people don't think it's real.
people are dicks.
Well, I don't.
That's just
dude,
real. I don't know.
I don't know anything about that stuff, so I always find it interesting. But one of the reasons I was really looking forward to the show is the fact that there's a lot of people who say that DID is not a real thing, and then to do a show about a character who has DID, I was just like, how do you go about depicting a condition that isn't completely recognized? Because some people think that the people who I don't want to say pretend, but the people who appear to have it are said to have been influenced by their therapist, and that they are feeding into the psychosis that the person is going through, and they help them go deeper into it by addressing the characters that these people are potentially creating. Again, I'm possibly using the wrong language. I am not a doctor. Don't come in. I know I go by Doc Holliday, but don't come at me.
Or you throw caution to the wind and you hope for the best. And then you're like, and then you quote Belly and say, "Who gonna test me? Because you're Disney." That's it. Who gonna test me? That's it. That's all you gotta say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man.
you have little other studios like we'd like to maybe Sony's like Morbius.
Yeah.
Morbius?
Are you guys okay? I still haven't seen it.
I ain't seen that movie. Fuck that.
I'm not. I'll see. That's a movie I'll see when I see it, if I see it.
If Sony doesn't get it by now that
I
y'all
know.
shouldn't touch it, just let Marvel do it. And they're all like, no, but we're just gonna do this over here. It's like, no, like it's like the person who comes over who's trying to help you, and you're like, my nigga, stop trying to help.
Yeah,
You just make this worse. I'll build the Lego. You just, I don't know, sit. Just play that video game. And they're like, no, but like, let me help. And then that's what happens. And then you have a piece that's broken. And now you can't fit it with the rest of the DeLorean.
Why
because
you
the
have to
piece
tell
is
a story
broken.
that's as a collector, you know that hits home. That thing where one of your friends comes and you're just like,
can I see what this does? Legs broke. Can't find.
and it's
another
like,
one.
yo, we're adults, so I'm not gonna yell at you because it's not like we're kids, so I can't wild out.
But I'm
All
gonna
I'm
yell at
thinking is inner child style, like, you dumb mother. It's like,
you broke it. Yeah,
you know how hard it was to get that limited edition? Like,
Oh, dude, don't even. I'm living a horror story about just buying something like that on eBay right now.
Yeah, man's got. Yeah, hey, yo, no, I'm telling that story. My man just went and bought a Toy Biz Deadpool. People who know, you know.
Look it up. Marvel Legend Toy Biz Deadpool. At one point, one of the most expensive figures in the whole Marvel Legends history till they re-released that bitch. And now that one is now more expensive than the other one. Anyways, you can get Marvel Legends Deadpool for around 100 quid right now. So this man.
So 200 Canadian? Did you say quid legit as in it's that expensive British?
I mean, it's around that.
Yeah.
Man's bought it. Did you buy it loose?
I bought it loose.
You bought it loose. And it comes with 2 AK-47s, 2 katanas, 2 sides, a handgun, and a dupe. And man's got 2 katanas, 1 handgun, 2 AK-47, and 1 side. One
Oh,
side.
so you're missing stuff.
Missing
Not as advertised. The advertisement in photo and in the description itself said both
having
sides.
everything.
Oh, so what happens in that situation?
Well, in that situation,
let's
you
see
do what
here.
any other right-winged Karen would do, and you get mad at the person for having the audacity to ask you where my missing shit is.
Title. Title. You do what you do what all right-wing Karens do.
Straight up. I inquired about it, and then he started ripping into me about him thinking that I was suggesting that he was stealing.
I don't
And my
really
reply-
appreciate being what was
Oh,
it?
he's
I don't-
trying to gaslight you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I literally wrote, I'm like, I asked whether or not you had it, and if you would to send it over. I have not implied anything.
I didn't even say the word steal, and he was like, "Are
Yeah.
you saying I'm a robber?" And you're like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, and FYI, that story's gotten so much worse
Oh, word. You need to escalate that shit,
in
boy.
regards to the annoyance. Oh no, it's honestly, if I don't get a confirmation within a day, I'm going to eBay because it's ridiculous. But
eBay won't do anything. I'm telling you right now.
well, they'll
eBay,
reimburse me.
No, they
and
won't. eBay will be
I
like,
have-
"My G, you need to talk to PayPal." PayPal's gonna be like, "Hey, yo," and that's it. Like,
Oh, no, I've had
But you know-
things. I've had things. I've had refunds at eBay.
Well,
pretty
look at you.
easily.
Look at
For
you
things
getting
that-
emphasis.
For things that you ordered that weren't as advertised.
Yeah, when they were missing stuff. Yeah,
Damn.
Wow.
I literally
Yo,
have
look at this
this
white
for
privilege.
free.
Wow, that's
This is for
privilege.
free
because-
because when it
privilege
arrived, it was in the box was in complete shitty ass condition, and it was all fucked up. And
You
the
complained
other
about
person
a
is
box from
with-
eBay and got something?
Yo,
Yeah.
what is this world where you get that? I have
Wait,
definitely
no.
tried that.
I've
and-
called eBay, waited on the phone for a whole
Facts.
hour break when I was at
Facts.
Ubisoft, right? Stayed my whole break only for mans to be like, "Nah, but like we can't do nothing." I'm
It's
like, "What do you mean?"
upgraded in the COVID era.
eBay has
Okay.
Okay.
Well, correction. That what I just described happened since COVID happened.
Damn, what the?
I've
fuck?
complained 3 times since COVID's happened because I've had stuff either not delivered, period.
Yeah.
And in both scenarios, it was one scenario was you have to return it because the guy asked to it be returned. So I put it back in its box and sent it back and got my money. And the other
Oh,
one
wait, so
was
the
like,
guy was allowed
what-
to request that it be returned,
Even though he fucked up.
even though he's the one that didn't send you all the parts.
well, no, this is for another purchase. I'm not referencing this specific. I don't know what's
okay.
going to happen here. What's happened here is that after 3 days, I just simply messaged him like, now I was like, it's been 3 days since my message. I just want to know because there was a misunderstanding before. Are you sending it or not? I'm just curious.
So you gave him a
He
cooldown. You messaged him,
I
and
gave
then he
him- I
went
gave him a
off. You gave
cooldown.
him you gave him
I
a
gave him a
timeout.
cooldown
I
straight
love
up
that.
because I was like, I don't want to deal with this.
I love that.
And then he starts complaining to me that I'm texting him I messaged this guy at 7:00 at night. He's messaging me, talking to me about he's working. This is not his job.
I love
Okay.
that.
I look at him. I'm like,
Yo, dude, this guy's
Yeah.
gaslighting you. This
Yeah.
guy,
yeah,
this
of
is-
course.
For
But the-
all
the-
those who don't know the game, this is him like just full on playing like, hey man, like this is this is this ain't my full-time job. You got to
Oh.
realize I'm not always going to be here. I can't answer you every 2
But the
seconds. Like,
thing is,
no one asked.
Brian, but you have to understand this. In the context of the messages before, he literally said, yes, I know that I forgot to put it in. I sent out a lot of figs. I noticed that one of the sides was missing. I wasn't sure which Deadpool it was, and I was waiting for the message. Therefore, suggesting you're going to send it. But because I brought it up, which is the whole point, I have to message you so that you know which person you
Yeah.
didn't put the thing in. And now you're bitching me out.
But you
your
so
mess.
you have the written confirmation of him
Written
saying,
confirmation, who's saying I have it.
oh, well, that's also the reason that eBay is going to give you your money. But like this dude is full on admitting I didn't send you the full thing.
Like, dude, when he's like, I was scared to get. He literally told me, I'm scared of what you're doing. You're stressing me out. I'm scared you're gonna give me a bad review. I'm like, I literally wrote him back. I'm like, if you put it in a box and you send it to me, and it comes to my house and I have it, I'll give you the best review of all time.
Yeah, why
I
would I
don't
give
give
you
a shit. I don't give a shit. This is a childhood heirloom. I've looked at it for years.
Yeah,
Like I
why would I
wanted it
give
in
you-
an auction. I
Wait,
wanted. That's
he,
it.
so he thought you were gonna give him a bad review for actually fulfilling the agreement that eBay. This interaction was on eBay in which I bid, I won, I'm supposed to get the thing. And you think I'm going to give you a bad review because you don't send me the thing. I'm going to give you a bad review if you don't send me the thing. If you just send me the thing, hey.
And the worst part, you know what his thing is? You want to know what his like one of his things are? He's like, because I'm asking to get, he's like, look, man, I know you're asking for it, but you got an amazing deal. Yeah, I know I got an amazing deal if I get all of it.
Yeah, dude, you can't, like, when people say, yo, and he's selling this stuff on eBay, so he knows he deals with collectors. When we're collecting things, if I'll go online and I find something and it says it's complete, and then I win it and I want the complete thing, and you turn around and don't give me the complete thing, then it's not a great deal. I didn't win. It didn't benefit me because I don't have everything. So I don't know, man. And now Dave has unfortunately disconnected.
What, Dave's all frozen and shit? What we do to him?
I don't know.
See what happens when you mess with Karens, Dave, on eBay? Rack up your whole thing, boy.
We'll let him come back in. Maybe we can jump into Atlanta for a minute. Okay, so I didn't.
What episodes did we talk about?
The last episode I saw was episode, I think, 3, where they go to the party in vans, like tossing people into the pool and stuff.
So you haven't watched The Big Payback yet?
No. So that which is the one that I've seen a lot of people talking about, right? Where homeboy from National Treasure and the Hangover.
Hangover, yes.
Yeah, he's in it.
Yes.
And
it's another episode with no van, no Earl, no Earn.
Okay, that's probably one of the reasons I probably wanted to wait a bit, because I like that he's doing this stuff, because
those are the best ones, because he's fully being like moving into like an anthology series.
I know, and he talks about that. He talks about the fact that when what show LeBron's barbershop?
I watched that too.
Where he talked about the fact that, like, oh, I love being able to do this because I can just these white people just know, like, it's a good show, and now I can just be like, trust me, and I just leave it alone.
Yeah, because all of these, essentially what happens in this one is that, and it's everything is like a tidbit in the show. It's so nuts. So it starts off, no warning, no usual FX Presents, and whenever they do the anthology series, they don't do the FX Presents Atlanta. I've noticed when it just starts cold opening. Okay. Cold opening. So cold open, and then you'll just get like the big payback. What happens is the main character, someone could pull up his name in the show, but I'm from The Hangover. He starts off with just him and like a dep, and then like he has his earpods on, so he's not really like, paying attention. But then there was like a black dude in front of him, and I guess like there might have been an altercation or something with the cashier, but like he doesn't hear anything. But while he's like kind of fiddling around, black guy gets excused and he gets like pushed up in line. She's like, yes, next, and the guy's like, oh yeah, sure, go ahead. Meanwhile, you don't notice, but he was looking at like a bag of like muffins, and he's like, oh, this is cool, whatever. And he just like, whatever.
Just real quick, his name is Justin Bartha, and in the episode he's playing Marshall Johnson.
Yes,
what a name. That's a pretty black
good
name, Marshall Johnson.
MJ. So Marshall Johnson, he pulls up in line, and he orders his coffee, gets back to his car, and then like he goes into his pocket, and he sees the croutons he's looking at, and he's just like has a snicker to himself. He's like, oh, okay, whatever. And he goes,
as in he forgot to pay for them.
Right.
Okay.
So he kind of like inadvertently stole, but like no big deal. He just drives off. Then you kind of see, like, as Atlanta does, pans over to like a car randomly in a corner that's following him, and it just kind of like turns off. But you don't. Yeah, it's super dark, creepy, whatever.
Yeah.
Proceeds to go to his ex-wife's house, where you find out it's his ex-wife's house, and he's like, hey, he's picking up his daughter to bring her to school, and he's like, hey, are you using that lamp in the den with the whatever shading? I wanted to know if I could borrow that. Blah 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 blah. Fast forward, you hear he's driving in his car, and you hear something on the radio talking about a lawsuit in which this Tesla guy is being sued by a black dude because it is found out that years ago, this Tesla person, his family owned slaves. And in this world, what's happened? And man's won the lawsuit. So this is proceeding so that in this world, in their America, black people can sue
the ancestors.
Thank you.
Of the families
and get reparations based on that family's total worth now, because it's essentially because it's essentially ensued that y'all only made your money based on,
which is fair. Which, you know what? Crazy enough, if you guys watch the show based on that, that is falling logic. Like, if you have your entire wealth was built off of the slavery you had, then you owe the money from the slavery that you collected without paying these people. And now that slavery is illegal, you should definitely, you know what? And the same way that Haiti had to pay back to France for lost revenue is the same way that these wealthy families that own slaves should have to pay back to the ancestors of the slaves they had. Because why would you not have to? It's same logic. Haiti had to pay back France, then you guys should have to pay them for the wages they never got.
So, but you don't. The thing is, it's Atlanta, so they're not directly telling you what's happening in the world. So you're just seeing like, okay, Marshall's driving his daughter to work, and he's talking to her, and then she's like, "Dad, are we racist?" And he's like, "What? What are you talking about?" She's like, "Well, the kids at school are saying this." He's like, and he starts trying to explain. He's like, "No, honey, you see, black people right now are just," and he's just like, "Don't listen to that kid. Just don't. We're not racist. Just don't listen to that kid." And then he drops her off, and then whatever. He gets into work, and then he's in the elevator with a coworker, and the guy's like, "Can you believe it, man?" He's like, "Like this." He's like, "Do you even care about what's going on?" And Marshall's like, "Whatever." He's like, "It's not like that guy is gonna like miss any of the money anyways." He's like, "Yeah, but this is unfair." Elevator swings open. It's another coworker. She's like, "We have a meeting." They all go into a meeting, and it's all the white people gathered. It's all the white people. It's all the white people in the office gathered with their boss, and he's like, "Yeah, so I'm sure you guys know the current situation. We're gonna have to make some cuts." And just as he says we're gonna have to make some cuts, some lady, before he even said anything, she just jumps up. She's like, "This is ridiculous," which is like very funny. Because if you know, there's always someone that's gonna say this is ridiculous, and it's funny. So someone says that, blah 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 blah. Okay, Marshall Johnson still is oblivious, still thinking nothing can happen to him, no repercussions, whatever. Even his coworker at work is like, "Yo, so like, did you do like a test or anything?" He's like, "A test?" He's like, "Yeah, like, don't you have like a family tree thing or whatever?" He's like, "Oh, I never signed up, but I'm pretty sure I'm good." She's like, "No, I'm sure like one of your family members could sign up and you just have access to it. Like, it's easy, like whatever." He's just like, "Oh, whatever, I'm good." Goes home, gets a random knock on the door when he's cooking dinner for his daughter at his house, and it's Shaniqua. Shaniqua pops in, and she's just like, "Marshall Johnson, your great granddaddy owned my great granddaddy, and you owe me money." And then he's like, "Wait, what?" And she just walks into his house. He's like, "Oh, they got the good stuff in here. They got 3 bedrooms,
like full on Atlanta style."
Walk right in, filming everything. He's like, "Yo, get out of my house." She's just like, looking at the house. She's just like, "No, you owe me $3 million." And he's just like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "You need to get out of my house." Slams the door. You hear her. She's like, "Don't be slamming my door." And I'm gonna say, Atlanta. This show. Fast forward, a bunch of bad things happen. The next day he goes into work. He sees the same coworker that told him to get his whole thing checked out. And he's like, "So like, did you notice?" She's like, "All the black people aren't here today." He's like, "Yeah, I wouldn't be here either because they all got their reparations." So she's like, the only ones that showed up are like Willie and this other dude.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah. Did you get tested? She's like, "Yep. 67% Aknawazni Jew, baby." And he's like, "What?" He's like, "You're Jewish?" The girl does not look Jewish. He's like, she's like, "Yeah, and now the world can know that we were slaves too," and just like walks off.
Oh my god.
He turns around and says,
"Sounds insane."
Yo, this episode's nuts. And then he turns around, he's just like, "Well, I was he's like he says something about like I was the Hungarians were slaves too." And she's like,
"Oh,
Hungarians." She's like, "That was a million years ago." Like, come on, man. Whatever. I won't go into everything, but there's just a few tidbits, like where at one point the girl Shaniqua shows up to his work with a full like air horn, being like, "Marshall Johnson, you owe me money," all outside his work, and people are just staring at homie like, "Yo, what are you gonna do, dude?" So
does he have money? Is that
Nah, he's like you're running. Okay, he has more money than
middle
the average.
class?
He's Dave. He's Dave.
Oh,
No,
that
but you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
I don't
Dave,
know
are
about this
you-
at all.
Are
You
you
make more
middle
money
class?
than the average bear, but you're not here with no $1 million.
Dave, in the
I don't
sense
know
that
what
you're
the
not
average is.
married and you don't have kids, what you make for you as one person is a substantial, comfortable living
Fair enough.
as a middle class.
Fair enough.
So
Okay. It wasn't an insult.
No, I'm not saying it was an insult, but I was just like looking at like what do people think of me? I don't understand.
So he goes.
It's just skin, guys. I swear.
So he,
Oh, if only it was, Dave. If only it
if
was.
only it was, and this episode shows that a lot. So he
Exactly.
goes to ask one of the black coworkers. He's like, "Listen, man, like, I got this lady. You know, she's kind of ruining my shit. She's all in it." And he's like, "And I'm sure you got experience." He's like, "You know, I don't know what to do." He's like, "You sure you want my advice?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right." He's like, "Well, I've dealt with a lot of black women in my time." He's like, "And the best thing you can do is is tell them you're sorry and give them as much money as you can." He's like, and then wait, and then he goes, he's like, "Now at first they might come at you hard and get you a little greasy, but and then it just hard, like it doesn't even edit. It's like the worst edit, but the funny. It hard cuts in the middle of the sentence, and then Marshall's now talking to his white friends, and he's like, "What do I do?" It just hard cuts. Like the black dude's in the middle of talking, and it just hard cut. And he's like, "So what do I do?" And then the same white friend from the elevator, he's like, "You gotta fight this shit, man." He's like, "This shit's not fair." Da, 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 da. I was like, "Wow, super funny." Cuts
like
to another. Go on.
I just like the idea that Chappelle sketch where all the black people got reparations.
It's basically
Like turned into a actual
whole
really
episode.
interesting episode of Atlanta.
Very interesting because you're seeing, like, dude, you're literally seeing the white people lose their minds. Like, there's one girl, she's like, this is the part I actually put on my story last week. So people, if you watch me, on my story every Thursday, I'm gonna put up something from Atlanta as my story, something I find particularly funny. And I didn't get the audio right on this one, but there's a part where this girl, like, I don't know, I would say her name is, let's say Kimmy, whatever. She gets her results back from her, DNA test from whatever, her background test. And she's like, 100% Nordic. What the fuck? And she's like losing her mind. Here comes Willie, who is one of the black dudes who showed up to work that day, eating an apple and laughing. She's like, Willie, this concerns, no, her name was Ashley. Sorry. He's like, Willie, this concerns everybody. And he's like, "No, it don't, Ashley," and starts laughing again and keep walking. That was it. The last portion of this is that where I'm gonna find in all the episodes that are anthology, the alcoholic, like darkened ghost ghoul dude from episode 1. Remember the guy in the boat? The
Oh
ghost?
yeah.
So he shows up in this episode,
Oh,
and
interesting.
he has a big conversation. He introduces himself as Ernest.
Okay.
Which is funny. And he's like, "But you can call me E," which is funny because Ernest is also Earn. So it's just very funny how this is, anyways. And he's like, and he goes on to a whole thing about the white guilt and being free and blah, 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 blah. And he's just like, "But it's okay." He's like, "You know, your daughter in the future, she'll basically be suffer because of what the debt you have to pay to this woman, which is essentially what we do to them." He's like, "But it's okay because we're all cursed and we're all free." And Marshall's like, okay. Man gets up, goes outside, goes to the pool, blows his brains out.
Oh,
Marshall? No, not Marshall. The other guy, the ghost dude.
Okay.
Just blows his freaking brains out. And then Marshall's like, "What the hell?" And out of nowhere, janitor's like, "There's going to be a lot more of that when that came from." And you're just like, what does that even mean? Does that mean he's gonna show up? Is this an what?
Atlanta is wild.
Deep cut, scary. It was scary because
wild.
Like, what does that
wild
mean?
Show.
And you know that Donald Glover is fucking with you on like 9 levels.
On levels that we don't even comprehend.
Yeah, so I feel like all these anthology episodes are going to build up to something huge that's also going to be like big like message. And yeah, because I don't know.
I like that in that episode of, I don't know what LeBron's show is called.
Barbershop, legit.
Oh, Barbershop. Okay. I like that in that episode he talks about the fact that I'd like to disappear, and then when I appear, I do all my shit at once and just release.
Yeah.
So he's like, the show, possible new music, all of it now, and then I'm gonna bounce again for a couple of years.
That's cool, except for don't do that because you don't want people waiting 4 years and then everybody on your show getting famous and then you can't film the show no more.
I I mean, it sucks for us, but
gamble
from
you
his
do.
perspective, his show, if he does that he does that the first 2 seasons,
Yeah.
then ghosts you for a while. Everyone blows up. The new season comes out. Everyone's just like, yo, I'm such a big fan of Brian Tyree Henry. I'm such a big fan of Lakeith. I'm such a big fan of Zazie. I'm such a big, like, it's smart, man.
But
They
it's
were
also
all good actors from get-go, and he knew that.
it's also a contrast of where they were, like, okay, season 1 and 2 of where they were, the characters and the actors, and then
Yes.
season 3 of where they were, the characters and the actors.
And the
It's like,
actors.
you guys
Yeah.
are balling at this, because just in that last episode of the rich people's house,
Yo.
Paperboy's like, the buy-in's 10,000. He's like, oh
Yeah,
man,
he takes
10
a-
grand.
yo,
He's
when
like,
he takes
hold
up
up,
the school
let me see
bag.
it. He's like 50, 40. He's like, come on, is that good? Hold on, wait, is that good?
Oh,
And he
yeah,
drops it.
put the
You're
whole
like,
thing on the
what?
table. Yo, that was wild.
Paperboy is my favorite person in the whole world.
Episode 3 was solid too. I love the whole theme of, like, because the theme this season is definitely like
A lot of
white guilt
Yes.
and woke white saviorism,
Yeah.
and it's very interesting to see, you know, how the system is taking advantage. Like when when Ern is the dude is like, yo, you see what I'm doing here? Like,
Yeah.
if they want to pay for everything,
Let 'em pay.
just let them pay. And Ern's like, and when Ern was talking to Paperboy about it and being like, you know, it makes it hard for the rest of us to come up when they do stuff like this.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so what?
Uh,
Like, it makes it hard, but they've been playing us this whole time, and this kid found an angle that he can play the system. You're gonna be mad at him for being smart enough to realize
I
like,
was kind of mad at that kid because he was a piece of shit. Like when in the
he's on
hallway scene
rollerblades,
when he's
like,
on the rollerblades and you see him and he's on the stairs and then you see him again, he's behind the wall.
Yes!
You're
Yo.
like,
He
I don't
was
know
like,
who thinks of these angles or who to shoot like that, but
Yo,
it's
dude,
just
that
cinematography's great.
whole episode, I kept thinking, like, especially the Lakeith story where the girl made the joke about Black and Asian babies.
Yeah, Dave, you need to watch this episode. You need to watch this season. Don't watch any other season of Atlanta. Start with this season and go back because of the
No,
comedy.
watch all the seasons. Watch
Yeah,
all
but
the
Can I
gators,
ask
watch
one
all
thing
of
about?
it.
Can I ask about the show? Is the first two seasons like a continuous story, and then this is just like some type of historical thing?
this is a
like I'm
continuous
confused.
It's a continuous story, but just with wild time jumps and no actual associated time with anything, so you don't know what's what really.
Yeah,
So-
like season 1 and season 2 is about the career.
It's closer
blowing up,
together, but you still
and
don't
then
know.
season
And then
3 is now Paperboy's career is way more
he's
successful.
out of here. Yeah.
He's on tours, stuff like that. But interspliced between the episodes about Paperboy and Ern and their crew are random episodes of like anthology style stories that are kind of linked because
Yeah.
they seem like in at least the first one, that episode ends with what appears to be Ern waking up from a dream.
Yeah.
So I guess this episode doesn't end with Ern waking up again.
No,
Right.
it doesn't. It just cold ends, and you're just like, all right, cool.
Yeah. So you don't even see Childish or any of the other cast members throughout the whole episode.
No, it ends
Right.
with the person just
fine.
like deciding to like deal with his situation, and he ends
Yeah.
up getting a job. But like from being before where he was just like a man within society just living, now he seems more immersed within his culture, talking to people and so on and so forth. So it's more or less like he's living more now because he's forced to kind of, which is
Yeah.
like another commentary on whatever. But so much about this season and is just it's madness. I don't understand the as you mentioned, the story with Darius. So Dave, just a quick tidbit. Darius speaking to a girl who you find out later. When you find out who it is afterwards, it's even more killer. But
Yeah, and it's rough, man.
super rough. He's having a conversation with this girl. She says some like fast things like, "Oh, I'm sorry, no," and he's like, "What? I didn't even say anything to you." And she's just like, "Yeah, well, I get hit on by black guys a lot, which I've gotten, Brian's gotten, and it's always been like, well, aren't you fast? Because I wasn't even trying to, but okay, they're fast little
Like
ones,
just
no
saying
problem."
hello to you made you think I was hitting on you because you think you're you're cracked to
That
black
fine?
people.
Yeah,
Get
you
the
relax
fuck
yourself.
out of here.
So
like,
then she
anyways.
says something like, "Oh yeah, I get hit on by a lot of black guys, you know, the black Asian thing." And he's like, "Oh yeah, sure, weird." And Darius thinks nothing of it. Here comes this Brit white dude who's just like, "Yo, do you hear that racist shit that she said?" And he's
Yeah.
like- he's like, "What racist shit?" She's like, "That bitch is a race." And then he gathers all his friends, and they have like a kumbaya with
And
Darius
he's like
there.
telling everyone the
And
story,
she's like, "This don't cut. She did this, that,
And he's
and
adding to it and
adding
like,
things. Darius like,
like-
that didn't really go down like that, but whatever. So then the girl pops up while they're having the kumbaya talking about it. She's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Oh hey Darius," and he's all like,
Yeah, that was
"What?"
great. The way it was shot, where Darius was like trying to tell her like, "Don't come over here," and she didn't get the message. I almost
I
felt
was
like,
dying.
"Girl, that's on you," because he gave the international symbol of like, "Stop." Like,
So off screen, they get up and go to confront her, but like typical Atlanta style, you just hear like mumble, screaming,
yeah.
bottles start crashing, and you don't know if these people are
No.
roughing this girl. You don't know
Yeah.
because it's all off screen, and Darius is
I
like,
really thought they had killed her. Like,
yeah, straight up,
like
straight
the
up
way
and down.
it
I thought they
sounded,
killed her.
I was like, did they just kill this poor girl? Like,
And then end of the episode is essentially like what, they get hurled into a cab or something. What happens with
yeah.
these guys?
So end of the episode is they have to run because by the time Paperboy realizes that the dude that he beat at poker isn't gonna pay him, he starts like just taking, like, he cuts down the guy's tree, because
Which is a 300-year-old tree.
Yeah,
something.
the guy has a tree growing in his house,
and it's built. His house is built around it. They also have
Yeah.
what was it? Not Papa John's was in there. What was in the house? What was in the house? that they had?
The chicken place,
Yeah.
Popeyes.
Nando's. No, Nando's. They had a Nando's chicken. They had
Yes.
Nando's in the house. So, and the guy's name was Fernando.
Yeah,
That's the best part. So they had Nando's chicken is in his house. He's like, are you the Fernando that owns that? He's like, no. He's like, but the things about life is like, I don't need to go through things. I just bring the fruitfulness of the fruits of life. I just bring them to me, which is one of the most baller lines I've ever heard.
Wild.
And I'm going to use that when I'm 50 and stupid rich. I'm using that. I'm just going to say to my kids, you want anything? I'll just bring the fruits to you. Done. Fernando ends up talking to him about poker and ghosts and ghouls and all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
And the devil, at which point I thought this was going to go extra dark.
I thought it was going to go dark.
Based on the last episode with the whole ghost thing, I thought this is going to go super dark. Didn't go that way. Fernando just scammed Paperboy out of his money. So then Paperboy got mad. Fernando, give me my money. Started cutting down a tree. Here we have Darius, who's getting about to be chased out by these these white saviors / not really. No one knows where Van is. No one has any idea where Van is, and Ern just wants to get the hell out of there because of whatever reason.
Yeah.
Long story short,
plus he also signed his deal because that guy that was manipulating the white dude to be like, yo, let's just let the young black kid take advantage of the situation. He wants to pay for an art space. Let him pay for the art space. Ern convinces the white dude, who's quote unquote his friend, that this kid needs a manager,
and it will be earned,
and that he should get 20% or some crazy number. And then the artist kid goes, I guess we're just also going to need more money. And I was like, yo, these two are playing the best game on this guy right now. And I almost feel bad. But then like you said, when the episode ends and you find out who that guy is and what his relationship is to the rest of the story, I'm kind of like, okay, you know what? He brought this on himself. He's one of those people. He's just like all the other dudes at that party.
So basically, all the dudes at the party is like, "Yo, there's this Asian girl who's being racist." He's like, "Racist? What?" You find out the Asian girl that she's talking about, I have a husband. That's his wife.
Yeah.
He finds out that she says quote
fiance.
unquote
Fiance. Yeah.
Fiance. He finds out that she quote unquote said racist things. He's like, "I don't care about your mom. She could rot in North Korea."
Oh yeah.
Yeah. and then like it basically breaks up with her. So at the end of the episode, when Ern and
Paperboy and
Darius are getting shoved into a cab with those guys, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna bring you somewhere. It's just like another party or something, whatever."
Yeah.
And you see the girl on the side of the street just crying her eyes out, and then these guys are like, they realize they're in shit because these people are crazy. They're clearly about to do some other shit. So they're like, "Yo!" They try calling Van, who was at the party with them,
is like
been high, been drunk, bounced on them, didn't tell nobody, sees the call and just ignores it, and that's the episode.
That's the thing. I don't mind them doing the story this way, where they like every other episode is like that, because sometimes in comic books they do that. Hawkeye, for example, a couple of years ago, they did that run where one issue was about Clint, and the next episode was about Kate.
Yeah.
And if you collect the trade, you can get the trade where it's Clint's story separate and then Kate's story separate, which I thought was smart, because if you got someone addicted to the title, it was on their pull list, they're getting the whole thing.
Right.
You can't really, I don't know if you can do a pull list and ask for every other issue. Never seen that in my life.
No, that's complicated. They would never do that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Worst case, you go up to them when you're getting your comic book and you're like, if you know that she's even and you don't want her, when you go, you say, "Oh, I just don't want these."
Yeah, I don't want. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I like the idea of the show doing this, where like every other episode is going to be one about Atlanta, and then I can watch the other episodes as anthology series, I just want to wait till the end of the season now, though, because if he's gonna keep doing that, I don't want to wait 2 weeks to get episodes of Atlanta for the story of what's going on with Earn and Paperboy.
But their story is so sparse and it's like it's been years, right? So it's really like,
yeah, but that's it.
y'all
That's what
are
I'm
rich now,
interested. I want
whatever.
to know. I want to know like what's going on with Paperboy's career, what's going on with Van, because Van's obviously going through something.
Yeah, she is going through some shit. But
Yeah.
they also never tell you what's going on. Like, okay, for an
Yeah,
example,
they
the last
never-
time we saw Paperboy, he was going on a tour.
Yeah.
Okay, he was going on a tour. Earn just somehow placed a gun on the touring act that he was opening for. He smuggled the gun and placed it on them, and then somehow that same act that he tried to sabotage,
Yeah, he put it
still,
on
he put on the rapper. He put on Clyde.
not the rapper, the tour manager who was trying to sign Paperboy, because that's what Earn realized. This guy was trying to pull Paperboy over.
No, but he put it in. No, but okay. So I rewatched that episode recently. He
Yeah.
put it in Clyde Carson's bag.
The
And then
rapper?
and then Carson said, "Oh no, yeah." He's like, "Where's homies?" I was like, "I don't know. They found a burner in his bag or something." So he left, dude.
Oh,
And
that's
then-
not what I understood. But
yeah,
okay.
so he left, dude, and that's why at the end of the episode, you see Earn and Paperboy look at each other like, "Oh shit," because you're kind of like, "Who are we dealing with this Clive Carson dude? If he just just dashed away his manager like that,
Okay.
no problem." So yeah, beginning of the last season finale episode 2. I mean, season finale season 2. They were
Yeah.
on their way opening for somebody. Now opening of season 3, they're stupid rich in Amsterdam, and it's
And like they have power. Like
they have
at one
gun
point,
power.
when he tells the guy, "I need an extra like 20K," and the guy goes, "Okay," and takes it out of petty cash.
Yeah.
Like he like wires the part, and then he's just like, "Oh, I also need like money for the taxi." And he's
I
just
need
like,
money for the taxi.
That was wild.
Which is what you can do to promoters. Let me tell you, promoters.
I mean,
you
the least
can't,
they can
but
do
yeah.
is bring you around. I mean,
But-
that's to me seems fair.
But essentially, yeah, this season is very strong. I don't know where they're going or how they're doing it. I'm sad that this is the second to last season. I'm not gonna wait another 2 years for season 4. Don't do that to me.
No, I think that because they're filming it at the same time, right?
They filmed both at the same time. They're done.
Right. Yeah. So I don't think they're gonna make us wait too long.
But I don't even know how long like this season is. Last seasons were like 10 episodes. I don't know if this is gonna be like 7 or 8, but
Okay.
I'm excited.
I wanted to tell you guys about Young Rock.
Oh man, it's back. I didn't even know.
Yeah, Young Rock is back.
And a lot of people are
And-
talking about what happened this week. What happened? What I missed?
It's because, and I imagine people are excited because they're already jumping to the point where he's about to start his wrestling career.
Already?
Oh, shit.
And thank you. That's what I said.
Season 2?
That's pretty
So
fast.
season 1, so for those of you who've never watched Young Rock is a series set in 3 different periods of his life. When he's a little kid in Hawaii, when he's a teenager in Nashville, before they end up in Tampa, and then when he's an adult, when he played for the CFL. Like when he was in school, then he played for the CFL, then he got cut from the
Did they
CFL.
skip the CFL part? Or did they
No.
do it?
That's the thing. They're doing the episodes like one episode is this long of his life. The next episode is this long of his life. Especially when it gets to the adult stuff, there's huge skips because they did the stuff in season 1 was him at the Hurricanes, Miami Hurricanes
Yeah.
for the college football. Season 2 is him trying to play for the Calgary Stampedes, getting put on the practice line, and then getting cut.
Oh shit.
And now he's just like, "Oh, I think I want to be a wrestler." And he tells his dad, and his dad's just like, "No, I don't want you. I don't want to train you." But his mom, who's from the Ione family, right?
Mhm.
Is that
Yeah, that's how you would say it.
so his mom's from the Ione family, which if you're a wrestling fan, you know that's a huge wrestling legacy. Yokozuna, Rishiki, Roman Reigns,
Yep.
The
Usos,
Usos.
Yep.
like-
Umaga.
all of them.
all of
Like
them, all of them.
the family's huge.
Every
And
Samoan in wrestling.
right?
Yeah,
Pretty
more or less. More or
More or
less.
less.
It-
Like, more or
essentially.
less. Like all the ones that were like
All the good ones.
bigger, like big, like Star
even,
Wars,
like-
not big, but like
Even like the cousins
Yeah.
of cousins and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So, anyways, so the mom has been hoping and she wants him to continue the legacy. That's the thing I found funny. Like, I would imagine the mom seeing what Rocky went through would be like, "I'm not putting my son through this shit." Like, I don't. We did not end up anywhere near what we were supposed to do with our lives. Like,
Mm.
the dad ends up working at Circuit City delivering stuff from the stores to the warehouse to be disposed of, and the mom is working at a call center. Like, you could tell that Rocky was just like, this is not the dream I had for me or my kid. So that's his reason for being like, no, I don't want Dwayne or Dewey, as they call him on the show, to have to go through what I went through. But you can tell that at this point in the show, this is pretty much like early Rock being like, no, this was my dream. This was what I was going to do. I was going to be a wrestler. But that's why I'm like watching the show and I'm like, season 2, you're already doing this stuff where he's about to get into it. How soon are you going to fast forward through? Like, what are you going to have season 3? He's in movies. Like,
Rock doesn't, but from what, okay. The Rock doesn't do long shows.
Yeah.
So Ballers was like 5 seasons of 8 episodes and done.
Sure.
That was in a span of 3 years.
Right.
So like, I feel like The Rock is like, oh, I'll do this show, but this shit done in 3 seasons. Like, I'm not getting tied down.
Well,
And much like, I was just
No.
gonna say, much like I was saying with Atlanta, the fact that each episode of this show is you're essentially watching 3 sitcoms, because you're watching young Rock as a kid, which every other episode is a story about. Like, every third episode is a story about him as a kid.
Yeah.
Every third episode is a story about him as a 15-year-old who looked like a 40-year-old man. And every third episode is a story about him as an adult about to do whatever things before he becomes a celebrity.
Yeah.
So that's, I feel, for me, is why it's kind of a crazy way to fast forward through things.
Is there any narration that lets you know where it, like, is there any narration of him saying like, and that's how I got to this point?
Oh,
like,
yeah. So
Yes, he narrates. He's still running for president, or is he president now?
yeah, no, he's running for president. The whole
Okay.
like side story of the show is he's running for president. Randall Park works for a network, and Randall Park is playing himself, interviewing Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who's running for president in 2032.
Oh, so this is the long con, maybe.
Yeah.
Imagine if he actually tries
big
to go for
facts.
president.
Dave,
Imagine.
big facts.
Big
Him
facts.
doing an entire show about him wanting to be president and telling you his entire life story is, to me,
It's
a
hardcore.
hilarious thing, because I'm like, okay, either this is a big joke to you or this is a big con.
Yeah, like this is like a long, like, I'm
This is-
easing everyone into the concept that it could happen.
Yo, that's what the Ukrainian president did. He
Like,
did a whole show called "Serve the People" or something, where he played the president. He played like a teacher who becomes the president, and then
Okay.
in real life, dude ends up as an actor becoming president.
That's nuts.
oh my god. I'm not like, because the thing is, let's not lie. Like, I'm so scared to even talk about this because I don't want to put it in the ether. But like, there's been many times people have actually told him that he would like be a good president because he is, in his way of interacting with people, he is a relatively diplomatic person. He always, again, this is appearances, right? Like,
Right,
that's why I
exactly.
don't think people understand. Like, he's good. He's an actor by trade since day one.
Yes.
Like, you know, out of all, even when as a wrestler, like he had the acting part down well before
Yes.
he had everything else down.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And he
Like,
talks about that on the show too. Like when he's training with his dad taught him about selling the performance more than the actual physical part of it. Like,
yeah.
you need to sell your pain so that little Jeffrey in the bleachers, whose parents could only afford those tickets, in the nosebleeds, who could only afford those tickets, feels your pain. And if you don't tell him that, are you going to explain to him why? Are you going to tell him you're too poor to be able to feel my pain from the front row? And Rocky was just like, what? The Rock was just like, Dwayne was just like, what? No, like, and the dad was like, good, that's the point. I want you to be able to sell the pain. I want you to be able to sell the act. And when Pat Patterson comes in and watches him, that was pretty cool, because Pat Patterson shows up while he's training, and he's just like, okay, you're gonna, you like, you know, Rocky and and Dwayne go into their whole thing, and then all of a sudden Pat's like, stop, turn heel, and then Dwayne goes full heel, like starts going into the ropes, really like and like gets real aggressive. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, the whole idea of just like, I want to see you play face, I want to see you play heel. Can you sell it? And he did. And the actor who's playing Dwayne is great.
Oh yeah,
and he does a really good job of like being that dude who can flip in between. another great part of this episode was you got to see Roman Reigns as like the little cousin, because at one point the whole family, Ione family, is watching wrestling together, and Dwayne's talking about how like he's getting into the family business and all the cousins and uncles are so proud of him, blah blah blah. But they're watching wrestling because it's like getting in understanding the business. And then Roman Reigns' cousin Joe is there, like is like this little kid who's just like, because there's a move called a Samoan drop.
Yeah.
And the whole family is like celebrating the fact that I think it's Yokozuna at the time, he's just like, yo, your cousin's gonna do like the Samoan drop, and then he does it, and Joe gets really excited and he jumps on Dwayne, and he's just like, come on, cousin Dewey, drop me, Samoan drop me. And then it pauses, and it's just like, that's my cousin Joe. You might know him as Roman Reigns. And then it lists every title Roman Reigns has ever won.
Oh my god.
But it's like him as a little kid trying to choke like an adult, and it's like, it's so funny. It's so well done.
It's funny because we were talking about the concept of like art impersonates life or influences life. A lot of people are telling me because of the scene. I'm assuming it's something in this scene that you're describing right now. They said the last episode they're hinting that next year, because next year they're going to be in WrestleMania Hollywood next year. So
100%.
already, like, The Rock is going to make it.
They said the line 100%. They said the line in the episode when he's choking him. He says, "Joe and Dewey fighting is something that they'll only ever see in WrestleMania."
Oh,
like they full on say that line in the episode, and I was just like, "What the hell, guys?" Like, I was like, WrestleMania just passed, so you guys must be talking about next year. Like,
100, because next year, because I thought it was all hubbub, but when I realized that the location apparently for WrestleMania next year is Hollywood, I'm like,
yeah.
This is happening. Like,
it was funny. It was funny.
Oh god,
it was funny. I gotta say, Young Rock is a solid show. I don't love the Randall Park, Dwayne The Rock part as much as I did in the first season. In the first season, it was kind of funny. In the second season, it gets a little annoying. I'm like, this isn't as entertaining as last season. But it's like you said, you need that narration to be like, what was The Rock thinking and why was he doing what he was doing at the time? So I can't hate on it too much, but that's pretty much.
But I think overall, I mean, like with how it's been described to me, it sounds like it's a relative, like not knock out of the park, but I think that it does what it's supposed to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like every show has like its lane of like, I'm delivering this form of entertainment. So as long as you do that, then there's no problem. But it's like when they try and overreach that you're like, eh.
Yeah, if you're a wrestling fan, this show is. And I mean, if you're a wrestling fan of any age, this show is fantastic to watch because all you're getting is constant references to all the legends, like all of them. Andre the Giant takes him fishing and has like an entire day hanging out with him. Sheik just hangs out with the family all the time. Bruno, who was a manager, is like his roommate, and you find out the whole story behind how they were living. You find out about how the whole idea of giving the wrestlers like soap opera backstories kind of came from, I mean, I don't know if this is factual, but the way it was written on the show is The Rock's mom takes over the family business at one point because the grandmother gets into some legal trouble and she's not allowed to do anything. So Ata takes over. And when Ata takes over, she notices that the scripts for the wrestling matches are the same every week. This character is going to throw sand into that character's face. This character is going to, and it's the same thing over and over and over. So she's just like, why don't we give people more? Like, give them a backstory. Like, why are these characters doing it? Like, it's like the soap operas we watch. Why are you watching this show? So she had Atlas and Rocky go on the radio and pretend that they were arguing so that you could build up to when those two start a fight. And it was really interesting. Like, it gives you a lot of cool backstory stuff that I was really excited to see.
But would you say that with what you've seen, like, is it really over exaggerated, or do you think it's like the stories are relatively accurate, like
I
How can I say it?
mean,
Like how, like when you're watching it, like is it
I
like
think
okay,
it's
you could
that.
tell that this happened, but like not at all this way?
No, I mean, I wasn't there, so I have no clue. Ultimately, when I watch the show, I find the show entertaining.
Mm.
I find it, the scenes are funny, the story's funny. I'm not really complaining too much, but at the same time, I think if I'm being honest, he's definitely exaggerating some aspects to make his family look a little more favorable. At least in my opinion.
Favorable.
Yeah, like his family looks like they're saints the whole way through. And I'm just
Okay.
like, everyone else in the wrestling business was out to get you guys, or everyone else in the wrestling business was
Yeah.
crooked. You guys were the only pure, perfect angels. Like,
So,
with
okay.
the FBI investigating your grandmother, but like the spin he puts on that, the way he puts a spin on it is just like, grandma got set up. It's just like,
how do they call it? The victors tell the story, tell the
Yes.
stories of history or
yes,
whatever
yes.
it
To
is.
the victors
It's
go the glory, and history is written by the victors.
that's it.
All those
That's it.
different sayings. I get it. I understand. It's just kind of funny when you're watching the show, knowing that and being like, sure, let's tell this story of the potential illegal corruption from the perspective of like, grandma was just being silly. Like, dude,
Grandma was just off
Dude,
her meds.
grandma has a ankle bracelet and is like the FBI is constantly telling her like, you can't leave your house, and she's on the radio, and then when the FBI agent shows up, she's like, how did you know I was here? It's like, you're on the radio, you're talking other, I know where the station is. She's just like, oh, my white lawyer tells me I have to, and like, I'm like, yo, this story is like, the writers for this part are hilarious because to take something that happened to the family that was so kind of like unfortunate and dark and to turn it into such comedic gold, I'll give them credit. I'll give them
But
points for that.
I wonder that begs the question. Like, I wonder how the family, because like because the thing is like I don't want to pretend like I know The Rock in any shape or form, but he does seem to be a person who could like laugh at himself for life. I mean, how can you possibly do all the things you've done and not take life like a little less seriously? Like,
Yeah.
like between acting and like, let alone all the like kind of, we'll say embarrassing stuff. 'Cause he's done embarrassing stuff as a wrestler, like all wrestlers have. I mean, there was a period of time that there was the Kiss My Ass Club. There's the Rikishi rubbing his butt in people's faces, and I'm pretty sure, but he's done at least one of those. So I feel like he's somebody who's like, okay, cool, but like, if he's telling, I wonder how his like actual parents or like the cousins are like, yo, man, like,
I mean,
didn't
they're
do
rich.
that. Yeah, that's true.
I'm sure they don't care. They got the money. They're in the Hall of Fame. Their family is well known. It's all good. Tell the story however you need to tell it so that we all get paid. Because I'm also sure like $7 Productions is like going to pay out to the people. You're using their likeness. You're using their story. You can't just do all that without paying people. I can't imagine you can. So
imagine there's like that one cousin or whatever who's the black sheep of the family who's like gonna just be that one like no one liked. I want to say Dewey, but that's the nickname for Rock.
Yeah.
No one liked Donald, and he's gonna be like yuck yuck and walk off, and he's like, I'm not getting paid.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see. But we got to get to Geek News and Rumors.
Yes.
Little homie from Adam Project tapped to play Percy Jackson on the Disney Plus Percy Jackson series, Walker Scoble. So we're going to be seeing him. He played the younger version of Ryan Reynolds. Hopefully, if you guys are fans of the Olympian series by Rick Riordan, you'll be excited for this. I'm looking forward to it. Jesse L. Martin departs The Flash as series regular. Season 8 will be his last. And he'll be headlining NBC pilot The Irrational, which is pretty crazy. I know that at one point he had injured his back and was doing a lot less on set. So I actually expected that if he retired from the show, he was going to be retiring, especially since he still has NBC Law and Order money. Like he still gets.
Oh, that's where he started from?
Yeah, that's where I know him from. He was in Law and Order years ago. So, and he did a good number of seasons. So if you're getting checks from that, because Law and Order is still one of the most syndicated shows ever.
But isn't it after so many re-airings on a specific channel that you stop getting royalties? Isn't that how it works?
That I don't know. I've never heard that, so I can't say yes or no. But I mean, I just find it weird if he would do that. Sony Morbius drops over 73% in its second weekend at the box office. Jared Leto is being tagged as the superhero Jinx. People are already saying that anytime he touches a superhero property, it is bound to fail. I would say I almost feel bad for him, but I don't.
What's the other one that he touched?
He did Suicide Squad as Joker.
Oh shit!
And
See, that's how bad it is. You know, that's how bad when like his mark is a mark that is like forgotten. I genuinely for 2 seconds forgot that tattooed face version of Joker that I hate.
Yeah, sadly. And last but not least, for those of you who are waiting to see The Batman, it is officially announced that it will be releasing on HBO Max on the 18th of this month. 5 days, folks. It's coming out on a Monday, which I think is super weird. Originally, it was supposed to come out on the 19th because that's supposed to be 45 days, but it's officially coming out on the 18th now. They've released the HBO Max trailer. So if you guys want to see that trailer, which is essentially just the same trailer as all the other trailers, go on over to HBO Max's site. But that's the whole show, guys. We'll say bye on behalf of Skinny. He had to duck out. And he's back. Okay, we'll let him say bye. We're signing off, Skinny.
Yeah, I'm gonna say bye because I wanted to, say bye to everybody. Go ahead and follow me on Action Figgy Skinny. Go ahead and follow Dave _Merc with him out. Follow Brian. Follow all of us because we awesome. And then check our backlog because we have That's Canon coming on Saturdays, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, every second Saturday I put out an episode. We just had one that this week passed. Great episode. The next episode is Despicable Deadpool. Speaking of Deadpool, we talked about that quite a bit. And that episode is going to be dropping on, let me double check the dates. 2 weeks from the 9th, which is the 23rd. So April 23rd, 11 a.m. You guys will be able to listen to that episode live here on our Free X Agents Media YouTube channel and on Geektastic Cypher, twitch.tv/Geektastic Cypher. That's it, guys. That's the whole show. And we'll be back soon.
All right.
We love y'all.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.